Welcome to Philosophy 105, Introduction to Logic. I'm so glad that you signed up for this class. Online classes are convenient, but they can often feel very impersonal. So I wanted to introduce myself and let you know that I'm a real flesh and blood person. I'm Dr. Sasser. I've been a full-time philosophy instructor here at Greenville Tech since 2017, and I've been teaching logic for that entire time. I double majored in philosophy and English at North Carolina State University in Raleigh. I got a Master of Divinity degree from Westminster Theological Seminary in Philadelphia, and I got my PhD in philosophy from the University of South Carolina, where I wrote a dissertation on David Hume, the great Scottish skeptic. I am obsessively interested in the history of ideas, and especially philosophy in the 1600s and 1700s. I also teach Introduction to Philosophy 5101 and Ethics 5110, and I strongly encourage you to sign up for those classes in the fall. For the past 2 years, I've been head of the humanities department, and I'm the faculty advisor for the philosophy club. So if you're on the Barton campus in future semesters, I strongly encourage you to get involved with that because it's a lot of fun. But what's most important for you to know is that I'm really a live person who is teaching this class this summer, and I'm here to help you, and you will very probably need my help sooner or later. I can meet with you through Zoom at almost any time, and I can meet with you on the Barton campus on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. So just email me to arrange something. Now, let me talk you through the nuts and bolts of this class using the course plan. This is the course plan, and you'll find this under the Start Here tab on your Blackboard website. So it starts off and gives my contact information, and then it tells us about the textbook. Now, your textbook is this one, Stan Baronet's book entitled Logic from Oxford University Press. It's the 5th edition of it. However, you need not just the book, but what you really need is the dashboard access card, which comes with the book. And you can get either like just a digital copy of the book, which I think comes with the dashboard access, or you can also, for not much more, I don't think, get the hardcover textbook as well. But the dashboard access card is essential for you to be able to do the homework assignments that this class involves. And you can get that at the Greenville Tech bookstore. You can get it online through the link here or their website. Now, the basic structure of how this works is that you've got a homework assignment due every week. It's going to be due on Saturday night, not Sunday night. It's going to be due Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. Now, be aware that there's a lot of homework. There's a lot of this in the normal 15-week version of the class, but this summer is compacted into 10 weeks. So it's even heavier, and it gets heavier and more challenging basically as we go through the semester. So give yourself time to complete all this. You want to start early in the week so that if you run into troubles, you can reach out to me and I can help you before you get to the weekend and I'm out of touch. At the end of each unit, at each chapter unit, you're going to have a test. And the test is going to ask the same kind of questions as you've encountered in the homework. And I post test review guides, which are available. All of them are available immediately. So you'll be able to see if you want what you're going to be tested over. Now you're going to take the test using Proctorio, our online proctoring software. Now, let me say a couple of things about Proctorio. Proctorio usually works well, especially when you use it right and you follow the troubleshooting tips, which I've posted on the site. But there is a small number of students, a small percentage, for whom Proctorio, they just can't ever figure out how to make it work. And that can be a real problem. So I have also posted versions of the same test online that say no Proctorio, access code only. Now, if you can't get the Proctorio version of the test to work, you can go into the testing center on the Barton campus and take the access code version of the test in the testing center on the Barton campus. So again, if you go into the Barton campus and use the testing center, you want to click on the version of the test that says access code only, because there's going to be 2 versions of each test, which you'll see in the test folder. But that's only if you can't get the other version to work. Okay, so that's how we're going to do Proctorio in the test. There are 4 tests, and they're at the end of each of the 4 chapters that we are studying. Now, the first test comes at the end of week 1. It's over all of chapter 1, which is kind of an easy chapter. There's a lot in there, but it's relatively easy. So you've got a test at the end of week 1. You have a 4-day window in which to complete the test. It's open Friday through Monday. So again, if you can't get it to work over the weekend, you can come into the testing center on Monday. But then the other tests are going to be spaced out throughout the semester based on because it takes longer to get through the other chapters because they're harder. The chapter 9 test, and chapter 9 is the last one which we'll cover. You're going to take that one during the exam period. We don't really have a final exam. You just take the last test during the exam period. So that's the first 3 days of August. Again, it's not a cumulative test, that final exam. It's just over chapter 9. It's a unit test that you'll be taking during the exam period. Okay, I don't accept any late work or makeup work. I might let you make up a test if you have a documented medical emergency. I do drop 5 assignments, five homework assignments. Now, let me show you what I mean by that. Here's all the exercise sets for week 1. Looks like there's about 10. I will drop, if you were not to do any of these for week 1, I would drop, 5 of these exercises. So I built in some cushion for you. Again, 5 for the whole semester. So I don't think late work or makeups, but I do drop your 5 lowest exercise grades. Attendance. I take attendance by seeing if you submitted anything during the week. If you didn't submit anything, you're absent. If you did submit something, you're present. If you miss 14 consecutive calendar days, then you will be automatically withdrawn from the class and you'll have to apply for reinstatement, which I may or may not grant. Now, there is, in addition to the textbook, there is a lot of online helps. For one thing, at this link right here, you can get aids that come with the textbook, really helpful stuff. You should definitely check this out. Also, on our course website, I post PowerPoints. And at this link here, which is also on the course website, that is a link to my YouTube playlist, which has dozens of videos that you should watch of my lectures over the material for all the material that we're covering. This is where my lectures are. And it also has lots of examples of me working through problems. So this is really a main teaching resource that you need to be using as my lectures over this material. The grade is simple. Homework counts for 40% of your grade. The tests count for 60% of your grade. So 60 divided by 4, they're worth 12 points each or something like that. Did I divide that right? Anyway, it's 60 divided by 4. Math's not my strong point, but I'm good at logic, pretty good at logic. Okay, so here's perhaps the most important part of your course plan. This is the guide to what is due every week. This is what you should be looking at every week. What is due? What are we covering? It's this. So week 1, here's the parts of the textbook that you're going to read, you're going to study, you're going to watch my lecture videos on that stuff, and then you're going to do all these exercises. Boom. The exercises this first week, these are all multiple choice. Anytime you see an MC in this line here, that means multiple choice. The exercises that are multiple choice, you can take them as many times as you want before the deadline until you get them perfect. So these multiple choice exercises, there's no reason why everyone can't make 100% on them. It's free money, people. It's you got to hit the layups, you know. So that stuff is easy. I mean, you should use it as a way of kind of testing yourself. Don't just kind of guess your way through until you get 100. If you do that, you won't do well on the test. But again, you can get 100% on those exercises. Later on, we're going to get to different kinds of exercises which are not necessarily multiple choice. So let me give you an example of what that looks like. Right. And when we get to chapter 7, you'll see these are marked ITT. Those are interactive truth tables where they're not going to be multiple choice, but you're going to be filling out a truth table through your software. And then later you're going to get to interactive proof exercises. Now, I think that you can submit these also multiple times until you get them correct, but it's not going to be quite as easy as multiple choice. All right, so again, use this. This is like your Bible for the class. What is due, when the tests are coming, all your due dates. Now, let me show you what all this looks like on the course website itself. Okay, so here's what our course website looks like. And these are some helpful links here. But the first thing that you want to look at is the Start Here tab. Now, this tells you about links for the software. Here's a link to my playlist with all the lecture videos. Here's that course plan that we were just looking at. You want to open this up, download it, print it off, and keep it with you all the time. You won't see all of these things here because I hid the stuff that doesn't matter. You'll also see the concourse syllabus, and you need to look at that. That's the official kind of the 25-page version of the syllabus, which has every policy that Greenville Tech has ever invented. And it's kind of like the official contract for this course. So that's important as well. You need to look through all this stuff. Here's a syllabus quiz and an acknowledgement form that you're not going to need to complete these during the first week. Here's a discussion forum. Introduce yourself to each other. That's great. Here's how to get started on Proctorio. This tells you what I told you before about how we're going to do proctored testing. There's troubleshooting, and here's a Proctorio trial test to make sure that you've got Proctorio up and running successfully. Now, here's what's going to be due in addition to these things at the end of week 1. So it's marked week 1. Great, how convenient. And we're going to be covering chapter 1. So here's lecture PowerPoints. And if you go into this folder, What Logic Studies, what you're going to see here is a lot of kind of helps and aids. Here's the ebook, here's some flashcards, here's practice problems. But your homework, the stuff that you have to turn in that is actually assigned to you, those are the things that have the due dates on them. Okay, so that's the homework. Here's one exercise. You can see those right here. They go on and on. There's a lot of them. Man, it just keeps going and going. Here's some video tutorials provided by the software people. Now, if you go into, so we've got four chapters we're covering: chapter 1, chapter 7, chapter 8, and chapter 9. Actually, not even all of those chapters, but just parts of them. So you go into the chapter 7 folder. Here's everything for week 2, for week 3, for week 4, and then the test folder. Let me look at this test, show you what the test folder looks like. You'll see a review guide, which you can access immediately, and then you won't see them until they become available. But when they do become available during the testing period, you'll see 2 versions of the same test. You'll see the chapter 1 test, which is remotely proctored. This is what you take if you're using Proctorio. If you're going to the testing center, this is the one that you're going to take. It doesn't require Proctorio. It will require an access code, which the people at the testing center will have. All right, so if you click on the chapter 2 stuff, again, you've got all the helps, and then you've got the stuff that's actually due. That's what all this looks like. I think that's the core information for you to know. Your grade book, I think you're probably familiar with all the stuff about the grade book. Um, here, if you need to see that, I will probably be sending out announcements every week. And so I think that's all I've got for you. Let me just reiterate that I'm very available to answer any question I can. Don't hesitate to email me, and hope you have a great semester. Let me just say, logic is great. It makes your brain so strong, even when it's hard. I love logic because, in a lot of areas of philosophy, you think, I'm not sure, I can't, it feels squishy. I can't figure out if there's a right answer or not. In logic, it's like math. There is a right answer. This is not subjective at all. Frankly, I don't think any philosophy is subjective, but logic definitely isn't. And so it's going to help you think more clearly. It's going to help you see the structure of good arguments. It's like the skeleton on which you can build all the arguments which you're going to make for the rest of your life. You need a skeleton, right? Otherwise, it's just all jelly. Anyway, I congratulate you on signing up for this class. Be awesome. We'll talk later.